Okay, welcome. I'd like to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. The first item we have is assignment for request for council action. For the Finance Committee, we have 25-136 budget amendments, 25-137 MCRC amend ordinance 7424 day pass rates, 25-138 engineering design services for job number 1180 Uptown multi-purpose path, 25-139 engineering design services job number 1179 East Smith Road reconstruction, 25-140 construction agreement South Court Street Water Tower property, 25-141 expenditure to SPCA annual contribution, and 25-142 fair market value estimates for North Huntington Street. The first item we have is budget amendments. We have 20, 25, 25 miscellaneous.
There's a whole lot of things in here. It's all transfers and advances that, well, in the water line improvements, but transfers and advances, you already approved the transfer or advance, but this is the appropriation behind it.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 25-137, amend ordinance 7424 regarding the MCRC day pass rates. Jansen?
Thank you, Mr. President. Christie's here today, just in case you have any questions on the request here.
The brains, huh?
Right. We had talked about increasing individual day pass rates at our budget hearing back in April. And the timing of that, in order to implement that, is now. So that way we can have our day pass increase effective for when school's back in session. Every year we analyze our revenues and our expenses, as you know, and try and keep those in check. And the first step that we wanted to take with this particular increase was to look at surrounding facilities in Northeast Ohio, see what they were charging, look at their websites, their ordinances, and try and get an idea of where we were at in comparison. And what we found is we were lower than most facilities, especially those with swimming pools. And we have a really good problem right now. We have a lot of people using our pools from all over the place. And a lot of that's because of the renovations that we've done by adding the water feature, as well as our marketing and our social media reach. So in order to avoid raising memberships and impacting all of our members, our thought was the first step would be to get our rates in line with our competitors. And that in turn, if we raise our day pass rates by $2 and our special circumstances day pass rates by $1, we could potentially see an additional $100,000 in revenue based on the attendance projections that Christy and the staff have worked up. On the second page of the request is that rate comparison study, as well as our visitor and revenue breakdown. Just to put this in perspective, down at the bottom, under visitors and revenue breakdown, our day pass visitors in 2024 were approximately 42,700 entrances. And year to date, already this year, we're at 31,601, which is showing that continued growth. So we think the timing is right to do this, as well as recently when we changed the pay code for the recreation center to align with cost of living increases for all the other employees of the city, we are also absorbing that now as well, and we weren't doing that prior. So in order to keep things in the green per se for us, we would like to implement this increase. Additionally, with the request is to make some clarifications on active military rates by clarifying that it also includes their immediate family. And for our qualified veterans, we want to clarify that that's for an individual that was a veteran, not their entire family that would come in. Our front desk tends to see those questions from time to time. This would be essentially our second increase since COVID. Our fear with the first increase that we did was that we were going to lose people coming to the rec center, and actually it was it could have been more opposite than that. Our memberships have completely come back. Our day pass sales are up, And we still offer those who are interested in coming to the rec center, 5-visit punch pass. So if you know you're going to come in multiple times, you can buy it at a reduced rate. So if you take advantage of those, it's really not that big of an increase. And we want to sell memberships. That's what we sell. So for the high school kids that continue to buy day passes, you know, we really would like to take an opportunity to make a push to get them to purchase a membership, because in reality, it's the better thing to do. We have many of the same faces that come in every single day and buy day passes. So we feel like through marketing and communication, we could potentially solve that to get them to purchase individual memberships that would bring the cost substantially down from what they're paying already through the various discounts that we offer.
One question I have is, how do we handle like the lower income with the day passes? I mean, what program do we have? How is this going to impact them? And do we know from our research or whatever, how many lower income people use the day passage?
Currently, we don't have any low-income day passes for just general public, but we do work with Jobs and Family Services and groups like that, where they can come in and buy these special punch cards, where it knocks it down to $5 per person. We sell those to individuals that are sponsored by an organization. So they just need to call us and we'll sell it to them.
Well, I guess that's the hard thing. Should we have a lower income day pass where they come in and they say, well, I'm on whatever program, I want a lower day? Shouldn't we do that?
So I'll jump in.
Yeah.
We have we have 50% off of a membership. There is a vetting process that has to happen there, though. So to sell a day pass, honestly, it's going to create more questions than it does, you know, solutions or offers for them. If we get contacted by a low-income family, we typically connect them with Michelle Kwiatkowski, who's our office manager, and then she works with them to get the required documentation that we need to authorize that. And it's a relatively seamless process from that point on. But the reduced rates, as far as day passes go, we really haven't had that question a lot. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Well, no, I was just wondering.
I see where you're going
I know
with
we have
it.
scholarships and they, you know, like you said, nonprofits provide for those ability, but I'm just wondering, how often do they know about it? How often do they come in and ask, I guess? is my
We
question.
don't get very many questions at all about that as far as day passes go, because most of them try to get the National School Lunch Program 50% discount.
Right.
The other piece, we have low-income families that sign up for programs, which are separate from memberships and day passes, and we offer those as well. And we've had numerous sponsorships for people that want to participate, for example, like youth basketball. We'll cover those fees 100% if we can find somebody to do it. And that's different than an actual membership or a day pass.
Right. Any
For-
questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for the free and reduced lunch, they have to have the form. And
Right.
the rec center can't call us. We're not allowed to give that information. But we can have the parent come back over and we can give them a replacement letter. But there's very, very strict guidelines.
Yeah.
It would be very hard on a day pass.
Right.
Because if they don't have that letter with them, then the parent's got to come back over and get a copy of that letter. And then by the time they get back over there, so.
If we know they're going to be buying the day passes, we do put a note on their account that they're pre-qualified for this special rate.
Okay, once you have the paperwork, yeah,
Yes.
but we're just not allowed to give it directly
Right,
to you.
yeah,
You've got to
we
have
don't-
them come back over, so we issue
Yeah.
them the letter.
Right.
And recently, we've tried a lot of different avenues to try and find people that might need assistance. We've, in the past, been in the Feeding Medina County take-home bags. We had advertisements in there because we know that those are more than likely going to families in need. And as Jim said, we can't get a list of people, so we have tried to be proactive about it and offer what we can.
And it seems to be a more efficient process that you have, because I could imagine if people are coming in and with the numbers increasing as they have just this year, you're going to be stretched to have to deal with that when you're dealing with an increased flow of people wanting to get the day pass.
Right. There's too many people at the front desk to
Yeah.
be pulling out your WIC cards and
Right.
your school lunch program letters, so.
The other thing I was going to add is, once you know this is going into effect, I would do a quick advertisement for people to buy
Oh,
a
yeah.
punch card for $30, because I think you'll be amazed how many people will
Yes.
take advantage of stocking up on those when they're
And-
still $10 less.
We're thinking about, you can take any punch card and apply it towards a membership, so we're hoping if the kids come in that first month of school, they'll be able to put that towards the membership too, and that'll help soften the blow of buying the annual membership.
I do want to note that this is not going to affect the outdoor pool right now. That is a separate piece of a separate rate that we would have to change. We're going to continue to do what we've done the last several years to evaluate our revenue versus our expenses there, and more or less see how long we can stretch that increase out.
And I do just have, not in the same form of your rate increase here, but over the last month or two, I've got 2 phone calls from people asking if, when the rec center is closed for their maintenance and cleaning, does a membership get you into the pool for that, the outdoor pool for that period of time?
Yep, we just had that discussion earlier today about getting that message out to
So
our
it's a
members.
yes then?
That is going to be the plan for our shutdown week.
And I know we addressed this before, I just couldn't remember it, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 25-138, engineering design services for the Uptown Loop multi-purpose path. Patrick?
Thank you. A couple years ago, the city was awarded $396,000 in grant funds from the Ohio Office of Budget and Management for the construction of a multi-purpose path through the downtown square area. Path will run along North and South Broadway Street, starting at East Friendship and ending at East Smith, just south of East Smith. We selected this stretch because in 2023, the city's multi-use path steering committee completed a study which recommended several projects. This was one in the top 5, and of the ones in the top 5, it was kind of the most achievable, the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. We conducted a qualification-based selection process to select a consultant. We had a committee, and the committee unanimously agreed that Cunningham & Associates should be the consultant selected for this work. So we're recommending that we enter into a design agreement with Cunningham for this project.
Any questions?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 25-139, engineering design services for East Smith Road reconstruction. Patrick?
Similar in scope here, but this is for the reconstruction of East Smith Road between South Jefferson and South Harmony. We awarded $530,000 from Ohio Public Works for the project. We did go through a design selection process, and after conducting that process, we have recommending that we select Euthenics, Inc. from Strongsville for this project. Euthenics has done several projects for us, and we've always had great results with them. So we recommend that we enter into an agreement with Euthenics.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Paul?
Patrick, are they going to widen the road at all in that area?
At the intersections, definitely, but actually the straight-through way, we had not planned on it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Construction agreement for South Court Street Water Tower property. Patrick?
Thank you. This would be an agreement between the city and Albrecht, Inc. It would allow Albrecht to enter and construct on the city's water tower site a driveway. We've already granted this easement to them for this work. This will actually allow them to construct the project because it is on city property.
There's some blanks in here. I guess those get filled in once we, like it's
Correct,
supposed to
yeah,
be done
we
on there before
forwarded
someday.
to Albrecht's attorney, and we're working through those details. It'll be finalized before the next council meeting.
An emergency clause.
Emergency clause is because they're doing it now?
Albrecht has recommended the emergency clause because they want to get started. They tell us they want to get started as soon as possible.
All right. Any other questions?
Mr. Coyne,
Mayor?
I think, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, but they need this driveway for ODOT to permit them to do the deceleration lane to then get access off of Route 3, correct?
Yeah, this is the access point they requested through ODOT, and ODOT allowed it, assuming they do the decel lane the delineators, a couple other things, but this is
Right.
that access point.
Right. So they can't use State Route 3 that we work so hard to give them access for without all these things falling into place, and ODOT won't approve it until the driveway is constructed and they check off these things one at a time. That's another reason for the emergency clause, is so that they can free up then High Point instead of having all the traffic having to come through that signalized intersection.
And did you say delineators, dividers, are they gonna put those yellow
That's part
things
of
up?
Albrecht's, that's not part of this project. They're going to put centerline delineators at the entrance on Route 3 so that people can only make a right turn. They can't make the left turn. Similar to what we did on East Reagan by Taco Bell there. Or West Reagan, I should say.
Sorry, it's made to be right turn in, right turn out, and ODOT doesn't want to trust that with the pork chop, because we've seen the same problem up there at Mark's, that people will do amazing things with vehicles to turn left when they're not supposed to. So the delineators help deflect that.
Just to be clear, that our existing driveway to the South Court Water Tower, that will be removed once this is complete. So this will be our new entrance to that site.
Any other questions?
Move to approve with the emergency clause?
Second, including the emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 25-141, expenditure, 2025 SPCA contribution. Paul, I think you've been
Yeah,
working on this.
thank you, Mr. President. This has been one of my fun things to do in my tenure here, working with Mr. Marquis and the SPCA. We've come a long way working with them to make sure that they have some funds for the work that they do for the city. I asked Kathy to give each of you a copy of the spreadsheet. There were 140-some animals on the intake. Of that, 85% of them were cats, and 83% of them were strays, and 6 of those cats came from our property. They just decided to have kittens in our back, so they came out and retrieved those. So it was a good thing. Last year, our contribution to them was $11,000, and I'm recommending that we give them a $12,000 contribution this year. And Mr. Marquis is here today, so if anybody has any questions that I can't answer, he can.
I actually do have a question. Okay, I saw rats on there. Are those pet rats, or were those like street rats? I was curious, because I've had a pet rat, and it's very different than a street rat.
Thank you, Jesse. No, and this is the same person that we had the incident with at least 2 or 3 years ago, which was just off the square. Same lady, and I think when we finally got everything out, it was probably 70 to 80 rats in her bedroom. They are not pet, well, they probably are her pets, but why she had them, there was no good explanation. They have been eradicated, out of there, and I would hope that the lady has been removed from the premises, because this can't go on. So those 80 rats turned into close to 400 to 500 rats.
Yeah, no doubt.
By the time we were able to keep the males and females separated, and they ended up going to many different states, people who want rats. So it was a rather ugly situation, but I think we have convinced both the owner and I don't know what they've done with the lady, but I do think that she is out of the house, but I don't know that for a fact, but you don't need that problem anymore.
No, we don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, just comment of, great job again.
Did you have any interest in rats? No? Okay.
Move to approve the $12,000 recommendation.
I'll second that, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 25-142, fair market
Thank
value
you.
estimates for North Huntington Street reconstruction. Patrick?
Thank you. In order to complete the North Huntington Street project, we do need to acquire several easements. 5 of them in total. We did get the appraisals completed, asking the council authorize the mayor to accept these. Your acceptance of these will mean we are permitted then to go ahead and negotiate with the property owners in the amounts listed.
Questions?
Move to approve with the emergence clause?
Second, including the emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else to come before finance before we recess into executive session? Okay.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that council go into executive session for 2 purposes. The first is conferences with the law director of the city concerning disputes involving the city that are subject to pending or imminent court action. And the second is to consider the purchase of property for public purposes. Because premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal or private interest is adverse to the city's interest. And to include the mayor and the law director.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We'll be recessing into executive session, discussing the item that Mr. Shields mentioned, coming out of executive session, reconvening into finance, adjourning from finance, taking no action of any item discussed in executive session. We are recessed. We have a couple of housekeeping items. We had a finance meeting, we went to executive session, and we got to adjourn from that. I'm glad everybody came this evening. We're going to have a quick meeting, we'll be out by 10. You guys are welcome to stay. We love this kind of a crowd at our council meetings, and we love that everybody's interested in it. But anyways, Mr. Shields?
Council came out of executive session at 6:36 PM, and I'll make a motion to adjourn finance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. And now I'd like to call this June 23rd, 2025 council meeting to order. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
DeSalvo. Present. Hare.
Here.
Rose.
Here.
Shields.
Here.
Simmons.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Coin.
Here. Reading of the minutes?
Mr. President?
Mr. Shields?
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of June 9, 2025, as prepared and submitted by the clerk, be approved.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Will the clerk please call the roll on the approval of the minutes?
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Reports of standing committees. The Finance Committee met prior to council, as we do every 2 weeks. We'll meet again next council meeting. Health, Safety, and Sanitation, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Public Properties, Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, no report this evening.
Special Legislation, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Streets and Sidewalks, Ms. Hare.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing to report and no meeting scheduled.
Water and Utilities, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Emerging Technologies, Mrs. DeSalvo.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a meeting scheduled to follow the budget meeting on Wednesday, the 25th. I'm not sure of the time, but it will be immediately following the budget meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, request for council action. We have several for the Finance Committee, 25-136, budget amendments, 25-137, MCRC amend ordinance 7424, day pass rates, 25-138, engineering design services, job number 1180, Uptown Multi-Purpose Path, 25-139, engineering design services, job number 1179, East Smith Road reconstruction, 25-140, construction agreement, South Court Street Water Tower property, 25-141, expenditure to SPCA annual contribution, and 25-142, fair market value estimates for North Huntington Street. Reports of municipal officers. Mayor Hamwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. The 40th Annual Medina County Sports Hall of Fame was held at the Galaxy this past Friday in Wadsworth, June 20th. I just wanted to thank the Morning Kiwanis for organizing and presenting this event each year, and congratulations to all this year's inductees. Square events, the farmers markets will continue through May 31st and through June, July, August, and September. Medina Community Band concerts each Friday in June and July starting at 7 p.m. And they also do July 4th, which just happens to be on a Friday this year. And they're always weather dependent. They'll have them if it's a light rain, but they won't have them if it's lightning for the safety of everybody. The Medina County Board of Developmental Disabilities Ice Cream Social is on Medina Public Square Thursday, June 26th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The fireworks this year and every year are July 3rd at dark. And we do this in collaboration with the City of Medina, Medina Township, and Montville Township. And the rain date, although we've never had to have one, is July 6th. The Twin Sizzler races are July 4th from 6 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., so the square will be pretty congested for that, as well as the farmers market. Ormaco Jazz and Opera Under the Stars is July 5th from 7 to 9. And Rising Stars Theater Program Summer Performance is July 10th, 12th, and the 13th from 3 p.m. To 5 p.m. I'm sorry, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Up on the square as well. And I mentioned first the Sports Hall of Fame, and we have some sports teams here with us tonight. And we're going to present mayoral proclamations to the Medina Middle School U14 girls rugby team as the 2025 state champions. And then when we're done with the ladies, we will move on to the Medina High School varsity boys rugby team, as they are also 2025 state champions. So at this point, I would invite the girls rugby team up front, please.
Listen to those medals clang.
Coaches can come over here if you will, please. So this is a City of Medina proclamation in recognition of Medina Middle School U14 girls rugby team state champions 2025. Whereas Medina Middle School U14 girls rugby team completed an extraordinary 2025 season with an undefeated record of 15 wins and 0 losses, showcasing their dominance, discipline, and unwavering commitment to excellence. And whereas on May 18th, 2025, the team triumphed in the Rookie Rugby Cleveland City Championship held at St. Ignatius High School, earning a hard-fought victory over Hudson with a final score of 26-19. And whereas the team continued their incredible season by capturing the Rookie Rugby Ohio State Championship on May 25th, 2025, at Aris Park in North Canton, defeating Hudson once again in a thrilling 38-26 victory. And whereas this championship marks the team's third state title, adding to their previous wins in 2022 and 2024, and further solidifying their legacy as one of the premier middle school rugby programs in the state. Whereas the players, under the guidance of their dedicated coaches, have exemplified teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship. And now, therefore, I, Dennis Hanwell, Mayor of the City of Medina, and the members of the Medina City Council, do hereby commend each member and coach for their hard work. Winning the state championship is a great accomplishment for our community. I present this to you.
I just want to say on behalf of Medina Rugby and our middle school program, we thank the community for everything they've done for us and the support they've given to us, the parents, the players. I don't know if every girl's here. I think we're missing a few, but we had 17 young ladies. They actually outscored their opponents by 700 points this season. We gave up very little points. Defense wins games, wins championships. You see that in the boys' game as well. It's what we try and teach these girls is, to fight everything they can do to win and compete, and that's what they did. We're very proud of them.
Stand up. I think we're supposed to. That's what he asked us. You want to stand up? Yeah. Way to go, girls. Congratulations. Nice job, Coach.
Tall ones in the back. There's a lot of them.
I think it's the same as football.
Is it?
I think so. Yep, pretty new hairstyle. Nice looking little baby. And this side is curly up.
It's all coming back, right? What it was. Yeah. Yeah, some of them are a little tall.
We are going to extend this.
Yeah, I feel real short now.
I've seen it.
They didn't look as tall over there.
Turn the mic on. This is a City of Medina proclamation in recognition of the Medina High School Varsity Boys Rugby Team State Champions 2025. Congratulations, men. Whereas the Medina High School Varsity Boys Rugby Team has demonstrated exceptional athleticism, resilience, and teamwork through the 2025 season, achieving an impressive overall record of 10 wins and only 1 loss. And whereas the team earned the title of Western Reserve West Conference champions, showing consistent dominance and dedication in every match throughout the regular season. And whereas on May 31st, 2025, at the Fortress Obetz Stadium, the team captured the Rugby Ohio Single School State Championship, defeating a strong Watkins Memorial squad by a score of 30-17. And whereas this victory marks the program's second state championship title, joining their previous win in 2022, and represents their 5th consecutive appearance in the state championship match. Whereas the players, coaches, and support staff have exemplified the highest standards of sportsmanship, leadership, and perseverance while proudly representing the values of Medina High School and the greater Medina community. Now therefore, I, Dennis Hanwell, Mayor of the City of Medina, and the members of the Medina City Council do hereby commend each member and coach for their hard work. Winning this state championship is a great accomplishment for our community. I present this on behalf of the city.
I'd like to thank Mayor Hanwell and the rest of the city council for honoring us here tonight. You know, there's a lot of literal blood, sweat, and tears that go into what we do here. And just like with our girls team, we scored 522 points to, I think, our opponent's 75 or 78 points, something like that. So, you know, the theme with our club here is defense, and we pride ourselves on not giving up a lot of points. And if you don't know much about our club, we consider ourselves one big family. So from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, boys and girls, we're one big club, we're one big team. And all our coaches, we all coach the same philosophy and the same way to play rugby. And I think that's what breeds a lot of our success. So thanks for honoring us here tonight. What's that? Oh, they're not here yet. They're en route. Yes. Yes, tariffs.
Okay, we'll do photos now.
Congratulations, Doug.
So now, going out for ice cream.
That's right.
I guess we can give a chance for people to leave if they want, but I know nobody wants to leave.
Are you guys going out for ice cream now?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Congratulations.
Nice
You
job,
really know how
guys.
you really know how to clear a room, John.
That was the important thing.
That's right.
Oh, John, you really know how to clear a room.
I just said that. We can't hold a meeting together. Everybody left. We
And
have-
congratulations to the parents, too.
Well, we lost a few people.
Must have been something you said.
They didn't want to hear Keith talk.
Oh. Okay.
I'm done, Mr. Quinn.
Thank you, Mr. Durham, Director of Finance.
I'm really disappointed. I thought everybody was here to hear about the tax budget. but,
No, they weren't.
I have two items on the agenda. The last two, I'll address those when we get there.
Mr. Huber, Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Mrs. Marshall, Economic Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one item to note for council this evening. Talked to our consultant for the Yosunoko site, and they did find an additional 3 orphan tanks at the site, and those were pooled, and soil samples were sent to the lab last Friday. So they're waiting for the results to come back from that. They did remove contaminated soil that they could visually see using something called a photo ionization detector. The dirt or fill that they put back in was all clean fill dirt, so they couldn't leave that hole open for a week, so for public safety reasons. So once we get those results back, then they will put together a package of all the lab information, all the photos, and then they send in an application to Buster, which is the Bureau of Underground Storage Tank Regulations under Department of Commerce, and we'll request a no further action letter, which we need that NFA no further action letter before we can move forward with any development. But keep in mind that Campbell Oil still has their monitoring well, and they did their soil borings, so we need to get results from that back, or they do, and Buster will be monitoring that, and the goal is for that to also get a no further action. So we need both of those in order to move forward with any development. The no further action is something that comes from the state of Ohio, and that usually takes a couple of weeks once the application is sent in. So we will continue to keep council posted as the project moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Kinney, Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Mr. Toth, LST Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through May, the life support team responded to 1,643 calls for the city of Medina. That's 111 more than last year. For all three entities, we've responded to 2,529 calls, and that's 199 more than last year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bacoli, Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Real brief, we had a water break Saturday evening on Route 18 just east of Vershawn. It resulted in quite a bit of pavement blowing out. So we have some cones there diverting traffic in the westbound lane. At this point, we're working with the contractor to get that repaired and resurfaced hopefully by Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gladys, Building Official.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Mr. Patton, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next Monday, June 30th, East Reagan, starting at 7 a.m. and lasting for about 8 hours on East Reagan, will be down to one lane. Traffic will be maintained with flaggers and signage, very similar to the work zone we utilized on East Reagan earlier this year. It's just a one-day closure. And also, I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, the closure of West Smith for a day to allow for railroad repairs. That was delayed. They have decided, we've asked them to do it after hours. They have agreed they are going to do it after hours. I don't have the date yet, but we will certainly notify the public via our website.
Thank you. Chief Walters, Fire Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Mr. Dutton, Planning and Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Notices, communications, petitions, there are none. There's no unfinished business. Introduction of visitors. Members of the public will be permitted the opportunity to speak on any issue or concern which pertains to the city during a portion of the council agenda devoted to introduction of visitors. All comments shall be directed to the chair, and a reasonable time limit of approximately 5 minutes will be imposed. If there's a group, please appoint a spokesperson. Speakers should approach the rear microphone and state their name and address so it can be entered into the minutes. Members of the public will be afforded the opportunity to comment on other portions of the meeting as determined by the chair or by a vote of the majority of council members present. Is there anybody that wishes to address council at this time? We had a lot of people, now we're down to 3. Nobody? Okay. All right, introduction and consideration of ordinances and resolutions. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings on the following ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 11725, 11825, 11925, and Resolution 12025.
Mr. President?
Mr. Shields?
I'll move to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings of tonight's ordinances and resolutions.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to suspend the rules? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Ordinance 11725, ordinance authorizing expenditure to Central Square Technologies for the subscription and annual maintenance agreement for the computer-aided dispatch and report management system for the police department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Chief Kinney.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is our annual maintenance contract for our CAD RMS software by Central Square Technologies.
Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Shields.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance 11725 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 11825, ordinance authorizing the purchase of one 2025 Freightliner high compaction rear load sanitation truck from Municipal Equipment, Inc. for the sanitation department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Pacoli.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is a result of council allowing us to join membership with HGAC BUY. It's a national purchasing program similar to our state capital purchasing program. This is a savings of about $50,000 on a 25-yard high compaction unit with some thicker steel, and we're hopeful that the truck works out better than the last purchases we've had. We've seen hoppers failing at 7-8 years into the use. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Simmons.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Ordinance 11825 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 11925, ordinance amending ordinance number 20924, passed November 25th, 2024, amendments to the 25 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. These are mostly to cover advances as we discussed at Finance.
Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Ordinance 11925 passes 7-0.
Resolution 12025, a resolution adopting a tax budget of the city of Medina, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026, and submitting the same to the Medina County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the big news is something that didn't happen. The state legislature, we were informed, is probably not going to move forward on dropping inside millage, so everything should stay the way it was. You have the figures there from the prior 5-year plans, so you've seen this all before, but any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on adoption of the resolution.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Resolution 120
Council comments.
passes 7-0.
Mr. Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to remind everybody, there's a lot going on in this country and around the world that for a lot of people is very frightening. The only thing I recommend, and I'm sure we all recommend, is that we look out for each other. And one of the simplest things to make people's lives easier is just be kind to one another. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hare?
And then touching on Denny's comments, it's an interesting time that we're living in right now. Yes, be kind to each other, be helpful. And if you find yourself in a situation where you need some help, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for it. You've got council members up here that are willing to help you. There are churches in our community that are there to help, our administrators in the city, and a lot of nonprofits that go above and beyond to not only help our residents here in the city of Medina, but county, and then even extending outside of our county. So don't do this alone if you are having trouble and you need some help. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Simmons?
Yes. Our Medina Breakfast Kiwanis Club hosted our 40th Sports Hall of Fame. Want to thank Mayor Dennis Handwell for MC, and shout out to Jared for sending Chris and Marcus to cover the evening. We missed past inductee Mr. Coyne, but the event recognized any high school athlete recognized as an all-county Gazette athlete. And as I said, we had almost 500 people at this banquet, so it was nice for our youth, our kids.
Good, thank you. Anybody this end? Mrs. Salvo?
Go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. Sure, I just wanted to say thank you, Mayor, for sending out that little missive last week, and and Chief Kinney, thank you for sending your officers out to just ensure everyone's safety. Appreciate that.
Mr. Rose?
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I saw what could be, in today's times, a strange sight. There were 3 teenage boys walking along Reagan Parkway and not a phone in sight. It was nice to, it was nice to see that.
Thank you. Anything else? Hearing nothing, the meeting is adjourned.